So hello there guys and welcome to the Smackdown review. This is literally recorded as soon as Smackdown finished. I've got a very busy day in the morning. So it's 3 AM right now. So here we have the Smackdown review straight after now. You get told that this is going to be the Kurt Angle celebration night as it's in Pittsburgh and it is Kurt Angle's birthday. But to start off the show, we have the Usos versus Butch and Sheamus for the Tag Team Championships. Now, obviously, Drew McIntyre's also got a ruptured eardrum as well as Roman. So he's been medically told he can't compete. We get told the Usos are the Tag Team Champs for 509 days. And it's the first time in 20 years that both the Tag Team Championships have been defended on Raw and SmackDown in the same calendar week. The Usos are here making history. I predicted Usos to win. I don't think they're going to lose it on a random match of SmackDown, but we'll see. As we start off, Sheamus overpowers Jimmy straight away. He's just running through Jimmy. It's really stiff clothesline that gets... they go for an arm drag, gets blocked, and it's a really stiff clothesline to Jimmy. Sheamus is just all over Jimmy at this point. Then we get a really nice tag move from... Butch rather. I still want it to be Pete Dunne. But a really nice tag move from Sheamus and Pete Dunne. And it's another great tag match so far. You know, it's we can't rumble at this point because we have Sheamus is great in tag teams. He's a great solo star, but tag teams is amazing. Jumping elbow by Jimmy. Sheamus looks pissed at this point. And I just put, who beats the Usos? Realistically, what team beats the Usos for these championships? We get a really nice snap German from Butch onto Jimmy as Jimmy tries to take him on the corner. And then we get a hot tag. Sheamus comes in, does his usual comeback as always. Then, just before that, I say he's so over. Sheamus is over as hell. And it's fight night. And we're going to get a double beat to the battering. Sheamus and Pete Dunne go to the ropes and go for a beat the battering. And Sheamus gets to about 7. And Butch just goes for, I think, 16, 17. He does not want to stop. He's just trying to stomp a mud all through him. I loved it. But as Sheamus is getting momentum, he runs straight into the post. We come back from an ad break and Sheamus and Jimmy on the top rope, battling it out. And we get a white noise on the second rope, which looked very effective. And again, we get a very quick ad break again for some reason. But when we come back, Butch is on the top rope and he snaps Jay's fingers. And I would not like to be the person that gets his finger snapped by Butch. No, thank you. Jay picks him up for a backdrop net breaker. It kind of is like signature. Picks him up, backdrop, spins, net breaker. Lovely stuff. As we get to the outside, Sheamus hits another white noise on the apron this time. Butch then hits a moonsault onto the Usos on the outside. It's all going off. We get back in. Butch hits a lovely tornado DDT. And then all of a sudden, they're trying to go for the one and done, and they don't hit it. And then Butch runs and gives him a sit-out powerbomb. And he goes for the pin. 1, 2. It's a 2.9. Very close pinfall. And then we get a nice tag team move. It's Sheamus' Celtic Cross or the Razor's Edge. And he goes to chuck him off. But as soon as he chucks him, Butch actually grabs him and puts him in a net breaker. Beautiful. Goes for the pin. It gets broken up because they reckon that's the move that should have beat him. And Sheamus gets back in the ring. Hits this ridiculous running knee. Like, it was fast. It was like a proper V trigger. Beautiful. Then we get a ball on the outside. Ridge versus Solo. Ridge lost. Because, Solo hits a spinning Solo. And in the ring, they hit the 1D. And as Sheamus is trying to get into the ring to stop the pinfall, Sami Zayn grabs hold of Sheamus and stops the pinfall. So for that, it's a 4.5 out of 5. This was a great match. It was so intense. The Usos have a thing that just makes everything look amazing with what they do. Absolutely incredible. And this match was a 4.5 out of 5. Cannot fault this match at all. Really good way to open up SmackDown. And then we move on. So we go backstage, and obviously Kurt Angle's celebration is today. He's walking backstage with Gable Stevenson, who was on Raw. Got drafted to Raw and not used since. And Braun Strowman comes back and he basically says, "Oh, how's the PC, man? How you doing? Look, when you come up and you're ready, catch his hands. I've been waiting for you." And one thing I pointed out was Gable Stevenson kept looking at the camera like I'm doing now. But I'm pretty sure when you're doing that, you're not supposed to look at the camera. You're supposed to look at everywhere but the camera. Right? I can because I'm doing this. But Stevenson kept looking at the camera. He kept focusing on the camera when he shouldn't have been. But next up, the segment is LA Knight demands justice. But before that, John Cena it's been reported that John Cena is on the last SmackDown of the year. So the 30th of December SmackDown, we're getting John Cena. I'm guessing he's going to declare for the Royal Rumble. I'm not too sure. LA Knight comes down, however, and it's major boos. This guy's got some heat. And he basically says that he understands. He struck fear in Bray Wyatt, apparently. Okay, then. And he goes to point to something on the screen, and he goes, "Oh, zoom in on that. Not that fathead security guard, but the mask in the background." Anyway, the image starts to distort. We get Uncle Howdy appear on the screen. And the one line that was amazing for all this is, "The door is closing." What door is closing? And he goes, "I'm going to go kick his ass. I'm going to go backstage." Yeah. Anyway, moves on. And then we get a backstage thing where it's Ronda. Yes, Ronda's back on TV. I'm excited. But Ronda and Shayna on TV, and Tegan and Liv are now a tag team. And they turn around and say, "You've not beat us," basically. So we're setting up for a match later in the night. But first, we're getting Legado del Fantasma. More tag team action. Let me tell you now, this show was literally tag teams. It was a tag team show. But I said Santos Escobar is walking down in his glasses, in his suit. He's got such an aura about him. He screams Mafia Boss, and I love it. And we also get told that Roman Reigns returns next week from his ruptured eardrum by Kevin Owens. But for now, we've got Zelina on commentary. The Viking Raiders theme hits, and as they're coming down, I said we're expecting a squash. Now, I predicted Viking Raiders for this match. We start off Viking Raiders in control. And there's a really nice counter from I forgot his name. It's not. Oh God. Joking Wild. He does a really nice hooker on the counter, and then he just gets squashed the next move. Just got no offense, and all of a sudden Hit Row come out, and they start attacking the outside with chairs. Now, before they even got in the match, into the ring, they already called a DQ. And then they started going after LDF and went in there and started beating up the Viking Raiders with chairs. And I forgot her name as well, but the lass in Hit Row basically gets Valhalla and just chucks her into Selena Vega. And then we get a really nice move from Top Dollar. It's a AA into like a neck breaker. Lovely stuff. And Top Dollar here looks strong. They've just beat up the Viking Raiders and LDF. And is this setting up something? I don't know. Anyway, we go backstage. LA Knight is having a look around. He goes into this little locker room. There's a t-shirt with the Bray symbol. All of a sudden, the screen goes black, and up appears Uncle Howdy. So we actually get the first iteration of Uncle Howdy as a actual presence. He's got the Uncle Howdy mask. It might not be him, but we've got the Uncle Howdy mask. And we go backstage again, and Kurt's, chilling with people backstage. He's got Gable Stevenson, and Jason Jordan appears. His illegitimate son appears out of nowhere, gives him a card. Oh my God, it's a blast from the past. Jason Jordan is still in WWE somewhere. Ooh, okay. But then, we go back out. It is the Ricochet Gunther contract signing for the Intercontinental Championship. And that's going to happen next week on SmackDown. But as we're about to start, the New Day comes out. And we're thinking, ooh, okay then. And Gunther, resting Gunther face is what they're saying. And it's Imperium. Not Imperium, but Imperium. And they come down in the white and green Ranger outfit, which I think is a very brilliant touch for the green and white Ranger. If you know, you know. I'm not going to go into it. SmackDown review. But a very sad story. Actually close to my heart, the subject. But Very nice tribute for the white and green Ranger outfit. I loved it. And they turn and say, oh, we're actually fighting Pretty Deadly tomorrow, Saturday night, on NXT Deadline for the Tag Team Championships. And he's going to put a whooping on Imperium. And he basically turns around and they're on about that we've come out to even the odds to stop a brawl. And Adam Pearce is like, what? No, brawls never happen. And Xavier just went, have you ever watched wrestling? Yeah, good point. And we get loud New Day rock chants. And every time Gunther speaks, it's what? And basically says that, you know, they're not performers and that they're proper wrestlers. And all of a sudden, it got turned into, oh, Imperium have trouble performing, yeah? If you're not old enough to understand the joke, you won't get it. But if you're old enough, they've got problems, and there's pills for that. And then we get told it's going to turn into a 6-man tag team match. Player Teddy Long was in charge of this episode, I'm telling you. But we go on to the match. I predicted New Day and Ricochet here. You kind of want to build Ricochet up for the title next week. Great start. Ricochet showing off again. There's a move where he goes to thingy and he just goes a handstand, stands up. He's like, yeah, I do this all day. And he's wrestling with his gold chain on, which I thought was funny. There's a really nice honor roll from Xavier Woods. I'm giving you the quick rundown so you kind of get an idea. Imperium is control as adds roll. We come back and Gunther is just stopping a mud hole into Xavier's face. Does the face screw, picks him up and just power slams him. Then just runs to the rope, gives Ricochet the biggest boot I've seen and sends him flying. And as he tries to get in the ring, bam, he just gets chopped down. But then up goes Xavier, hits a top rope drop kick, and it's a Kofi comeback time. If you know what I mean by comeback, if you play 2K or any wrestling game, you'll know it's the hot tag motion, the comeback. And then we get a boom drop onto Kaiser. Then we get a really nice slide drop. He basically slides on his knees, just takes his leg underneath him, plants him on his face. And then we go to the outside, and Kaiser just hits his really wonderful running European uppercut. Beautiful. And then Ricochet basically gets sent over the table. Was it Xavier Woods? No, Xavier Woods and Kofi just get literally launched over the table. Michael goes, oh, what the hell? And we get in the ring, and Ricochet is just getting decimated by Gunther. At least we fought for a while. He then starts fighting back, really giving it to Gunther, like really standing toe to toe with Gunther, which you don't do. And he goes to clothesline him. He jumps on his back, jumps straight back up again. Great dodge. He does this all day. He's the one and only after all. And as soon as you think he's getting momentum, he just gets chopped out of existence. And then Gunther picks him up for powerbomb, switches straight into this very rapid sunset flip powerbomb. Beautiful stuff. He goes on the rope, lovely rope DDT from Xavier Woods. Really nice tag team move from Xavier and Ricochet. Top rope hook and Rana from Ricochet onto Gunther. No, onto Kaiser, sorry. And then all of a sudden, they're scrapping outside. Kofi Kingston hits the Trouble in Paradise on Kaiser. Ricochet goes to the top rope, hits a backflip for the 1, 2, 3. New Day and Ricochet have just beat Imperium. This match for me was a 4 out of 5. I loved this. Ricochet, I could watch him wrestle all day. He's amazing, incredible. The New Day are amazing. Imperium are amazing. Just really good wrestlers in the same ring makes me happy. And then we move on. We've got 35 minutes left. It's a 2-hour show. Time flies with SmackDown. And we go backstage and everyone's feeling oozy. Well, oh, we're feeling oozy. Oh, we're feeling oozy. But Solo does not look oozy. A little note here. Solo looks very, very... I can't be bothered with these. And then he says, it's a big night for Sami Zayn. Roman's back. And Jay says, shave here and spruce yourself up a bit. Make yourself look a bit more presentable. It's going to be a big night for you. Foreshadowing. And then we go back and we go even further backstage because Ray's in the medical room and he's having his foot examined. And Karrion Kross walks in. And he goes, not here to fight, not here to cause trouble. Gets a seat and sits down like he's a counsellor. And he says, look, I like you restrained. I like you not going after Dom. And then he tells this story about his wife, Scarlett, who's from Romania. And basically says, she had this horse and she loved this horse. And it was great until it wasn't. And then we put a thing on the back of it to become a workhorse. And it was good for a while, and then it started to slowly fade off. And they loved this horse very much, but it was not a workhorse anymore. And they had to put it down. And Karen's basically foreshadowing that that's going to happen to Rey Mysterio. That he's had his run, he's had his workhorse run, and now Karen's going to end his career, basically. But we go back to this main stage, we go back to the ring. That match I was on about earlier, Liv and Tegan, is now happening. Liv and Tegan versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda. And I predicted a squash. I said Ronda and Baszler should win here. I'm glad I was wrong. Because we start off, Tegan looks great. Really nice deep arm drags. A big kick from Shayna to Tegan. And then Ronda gets tagged in. Now, one thing I will say here is Ronda's got to be careful. Because the arm drag she'll do, she'll just dragging her about. Ragdolling her. And it doesn't look good. It looks shit. It looks awful. And I said be careful. And Tegan tried to kick Ronda, and Ronda just wouldn't sell. She's like, oh, whatever. There's a bit in the corner where she tries to go for the turnbuckle, and Ronda would not hit in the turnbuckle because she does not want to hurt herself. Again, I go back to it. Stop with the fire Ronda trees. I get she's not that good, and I personally don't like her. I think you're whatever. But we don't want to fire her. You know, you want that to be your job. I just think she needs a lot. She needs to be took off screen, and she needs to have a very long stage of you need to get better. Because it just isn't it. Anyway, so Liv then gets a comeback, and there's a really nice German from Shayna to Liv, and Raquel Gonzalez comes out from nowhere with a broken arm. Anyway, they get distracted, and Shayna Baszler's in the middle of the ring. Tegan Nox hits the shiniest wizard onto Shayna, and Liv pins Shayna for the win. Liv and Tegan Nox got the win here. I give this match a 5 out of 5 because Ronda lost. No, but seriously, it was a 2 out of 5. It wasn't the best match. It was alright. But it wasn't the best match, in all fairness. But 5 out of 5, Ronda lost. Now, with 10 minutes to go, we go straight on to the Kurt celebration time. Comes down to ring, he's got this big cake. It's all proper American. It's his birthday. Let's wish him, Kurt Angle, a happy birthday. Now, admittedly, it's probably over by the time this is out, but hey ho. And before he even starts to say thank you, Alpha Academy comes out. And he says, you know what? The fans, I'm going to agree with you once and once only. The fans are right. Kurt, you do suck. And major boos. And basically says that if you don't get out the ring now, we're going to break your neck again. But also, Otis is going to eat the cake. And the crowd starts trying to eat the cake, eat the cake. And then all of a sudden, he goes up and he goes, if you're going to eat that much cake, you're going to need some milk. And Gable Stevenson then comes out with a milk truck. They get down to the ramp, start undoing these milks and launching them out. Now, I'm telling you now, Otis got hit with at least 4 milk bottles and 2 of them hit his head. He took them like a champ. And all of a sudden, he's got the hose out and he just sprays down Otis and Gable with this milk hose pipe. It was brilliant, just doused in milk. They get into the ring. They crack some milk together like Stone Cold. Gable, Stevenson and Kurt just chug these milk back. And there's your episode. I loved the segment of the milk. I thought it was brilliant. Really nice way to show off Kurt. But why Gable Stevenson? I know he's won a gold medal. But you've got Jason Jordan there. You know, like, you could have a big pot for Jason Jordan. I just don't get why Gable Stevenson is on SmackDown when he got drafted to Raw. And he's done nothing all year. And it's that time of the episode. We've got just under 20 minutes, and it's the worst and best superstar of the week. The worst is Ronda Rousey. I don't want her on my screen. I'm not saying she'll be fired. I just don't want her on screen. She's got no charisma. She doesn't sell. She can't wrestle. I'm not a fan. I hate seeing Ronda on my telly, and I know I'm going to have to see it because she's the SmackDown champion. But when Shayna turns on Ronda, it's going to be the best thing. Shayna is champion world championship level, without a shadow of a doubt. She needs to turn on Ronda and get that title. But until then, Ronda's going to be the worst superstar of the week every week. My best superstar of the week, however, is going to be Ricochet. This man looks incredible. He looks very, very over for his Intercontinental match. And he just seems to get better and better with every week that goes by. So that is my worst superstar and best superstar of the week. I'll leave the 3 questions down below like always. Thank you guys for watching the SmackDown review, and until next time, peace.